Hello, we're here with Mike Favor of Men on the Move. Mike, how you feel about Men on the Move?
I love it. It's my favorite thing to do.
Is it?
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah, I like coming in and recording episodes and talking. I especially like the talking.
Oh, okay. Just to let you guys know, this is our second time doing Mike's video. Our first one was supposed to be a quick little video turned into an hour therapy session.
Yeah.
Yeah, okay. I like to talk too, so I don't know how we gonna get through this one. But with Men in the Move, what do you have any type of now I'm not gonna say message, but what do you hope gets across to people as you are doing your videos, as we're doing the videos, and the things that we do?
I can't really say I want anything. I just want people to look at us as quote unquote normal. Like, we go through the same things, we have the same experiences as everybody else. Like, we're not just victims of our circumstances.
Oh, that's cool. Okay, I like that. Like that you said that we're not just victims of our circumstances, because I think a lot of people think that way and feel that way
Right.
about us with disabilities, that we're victims of it. And because you get, somebody had passed by me and they was like, "Oh, sorry."
Right.
And I'm like, "What you do?" And I think that's a general thing. People just feel sorry for us.
And I think, not to toot my own horn, I think with me, I think my experiences and the things I've experienced as far as relationships and women in general, you really get to see, like, I might not be on the same level as an able-bodied person, but I'm close when it comes to that type of thing, as far as my experiences, because a lot of people haven't experienced the things that I've experienced. So I'm able to bring a different perspective of being disabled than somebody else might.
What do you think makes you different than the typical idea that people have in their mind about people with disabilities?
I think I just live my life, and I don't concern myself with my disability. Like, I kind of make my disability an afterthought.
Okay.
It's not the sense of, I make jokes about it, but it's not like I can't do this because I have a disability.
Do you make the jokes to put people at ease, sort of?
No, I don't care about putting people at ease.
Oh, okay.
It's just how I've always been. Everything to me is, I take everything as a joke, and I can make a joke out of it.
Okay, there's a difference between taking everything as a joke or I can see the humor in things. Because if you take everything as a joke, you kind of like, a jerk. No, I'm just kidding.
Like, since I was a kid, I just learned, like, you have to look at, there's something funny in everything.
Right, so you can see the humor in
it.
When we were, me and my sister, we were at my father's funeral. And I know this sounds so messed up. We were at my father's funeral, cracking up. I mean, not like, Dad's dead. We wasn't pointing at the casket saying, but there were things that were funny that were happening.
Right.
Like I have an aunt who was praying. They had the little kneeling thing in front of the casket, and she bent down to pray. She was a large woman.
Right.
And when she was getting up, she held on to the casket.
Right.
And it started rocking. You know what I mean? And me and my sister, we sitting there cracking. We behind our little tissues and we cracking up. And people are coming by like, "Oh, it's okay, it's okay." But we laughing, it's like.
So, like, it's the same thing. Like, when I was younger, I saw humor in things that were happening to me. Like, I used to have surgeries and I would have to, like, sleep in my mom's room or something while my friends were outside. I'm upstairs in a cast. It's like, this shit sucks, man. But it was funny because it's like, my daily adventures are like chilling in my mom's room all summer,
Mhm.
and she's like downstairs on the couch, and I'm in the big room with the cave.
Oh, okay.
So it's just like stuff like that, and
Mhm.
just having disabled friends and being around disabled people, having a disabled sibling, you you have to make fun of it. You
Mhm.
can't be. If I was serious about it all the time, then I'd be depressed.
Right. Because you're very funny on the show. And
Um, I think it comes.
it's a natural thing.
I feed off of
Mhm.
Dustin and what he says.
Oh, gosh.
So he says things, and I'm just like, well, that's my response. And
Uh-huh.
then just sometimes your life experiences, it, you don't realize how funny they are until you say it out loud, and then it's, oh well, that's fucking crazy that you
Mhm.
said that. So it works. Like people watch the show and they tell me like they think I'm funny. It's like I wasn't
Well, trying to be funny. Yeah, but
Like,
you are.
yeah, it's like-
it's a natural thing, and you have a lot of. I can tell by the way the things you say, and of course your Facebook presence. You do a lot of thinking.
Yeah, I spend like when I write Facebook posts, I think about it first.
Mhm.
It might be something I saw, and it's just like that'd be a good thing to talk about on Facebook.
Mhm.
But just sometimes like some stuff it just happens in an instant. It happens and I say it.
Because sometimes it's thoughts that it's like, who the hell gives that thought? You know, but and it's like, really, yeah. It's like, oh, yeah, okay, yeah.
But like that's another reason why I think Dustin wanted to bring me in
Mhm.
on this because Dustin has known me since high school,
Oh, okay.
so I guess he saw something.
Mhm.
Cause I don't.
Well, I'm glad he did. I really am
Thank
glad he did because I think you're a wonderful fit, and I think you guys together are just amazing. I love to see you guys together.
I think me and Dustin work in the sense of like it's like Friday. Like I'm like the Smokey, and he's the
Oh,
Craig.
the movie Friday. Okay.
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
Like I'm like the Smokey. He's the Craig. He's the more serious one. And I'm the.
Mhm.
I'll come in and say something crazy and
Mhm.
leave it at that.
I didn't even think about that. Yeah, that's a good analogy, a
Yeah.
good comparison. Well, I want to ask you some more things about Late, and with your do you- I know that you are getting into advocacy,
Mhm.
and what makes you want to do?
Like for a long time, I stayed away from the disabled community because I wanted to do other things in my life and experience other things in my life. But then I started realizing I wasn't getting things that I needed, and if I did get things that I needed, it took forever, and there was nobody really standing up for me but me. And I started thinking like I have friends in the same predicaments, you know? And 2015 I went to the disability parade. And again I ran into Dustin. I hadn't seen Dustin since high school and he told me like he was one of the organizers of the parade that year, and so my mind was like, well, how did you get into that? So I just asked him, like, how did you get into it? And he told me, and he was like, yeah, help me out. And other things started coming along with it.
Mhm.
And, I just feel like every movement ever has had a voice or a person that you can put to it. And we don't have that. And if we do have it, it's not, those people aren't being exposed
Mhm.
the way other movements have. Everybody has a movement. Women have a movement,
So you mean like they don't have somebody that you can a face to attach?
Right. Like when you think of the civil rights movement,
Think Martin Luther
yeah, when
King,
you
Malcolm X,
yeah, like
Garvey. Mhm.
so I just felt like we need that
Okay.
because people don't pay us attention.
Mhm.
We're forgotten, So I just felt like, not saying necessarily that I could be
Right.
the Martin Luther King or the Malcolm X or whoever, but I at least wanted to attempt it.
Do your part.
Yeah. Like my whole thing, and I have a big thing about death. When you die, you want people to remember you for something. I don't want to die and just be a guy that existed
Right.
on the
I
earth.
got you.
Like I just was here and I did nothing with whatever amount of time I had on the earth. I want whenever my time comes, I want people to be like, he tried to help us, or he tried to.
His life meant something.
Yeah, like I don't want to just die and not do anything,
Right. I
or
got you.
just be a person who was here. I want people to remember me for something I tried to do.
I say I want to live on past my life.
Yeah, like
You know.
yeah, like, and I really grew up. I grew up admiring two of my biggest, I guess you say, idols were Malcolm X and Tupac. And I just I watched how people speak about them today. And Malcolm X died 50 years ago, and Tupac died 20 years ago. And people still talk about them today because they meant something beyond the time they were here on Earth.
Right.
So my whole thing was, I want to help disabled people get somewhere, not just be stuck in the we're here and nobody cares and let's collect our checks and let's some of us get jobs, but for the most part, most of us are stuck, including myself. We get stuck in this world of we're just gonna collect the check and just exist.
So what do you think is us stuck more, ourselves, or what we think of ourselves, or what other people think of us?
I think it's all of that. I think when you're disabled, it's the same. It's the same setbacks as being black. Black people have this thing of we've been conditioned to think about ourselves a certain way. Some people follow along with the trend. Some people don't. Disabled people, we're predisposed to think a certain way about ourselves because society tells you you're not supposed to.
Like we have a place. Like this is your place.
Right. And I think our generation, my generation of disabled people, we came up when we had certain opportunities where generations before us didn't have. So we got to envision ourselves doing more. Some applied it, some haven't. And including myself, until recently, I didn't really apply myself. I just, like I said, I just existed in the world. Until now, in the last year or so, now I feel like I have a purpose. And my purpose is to help people. Or to at least, if I don't help you directly, even with Men on the Move, I want people to watch the show and take from it that you can do certain things, you can go certain places, you can experience things that you might not think that you're supposed to experience because you're in a wheelchair.
So they're getting a different view of people who live with disabilities.
I've had people, they'll say, I read your Facebook post, or I see you on Facebook, and you travel and you do this, and we really admire that. And to me, it's like we're getting on a plane. It's not a big deal, but other people don't. Other people, but then I had to realize, I honestly for a long time, I don't want to say discriminatory, but I stayed away from most things that had to do with disabled people because it was just like I don't want to be a part of that. Like I don't
want people seeing me as disabled.
Like, I don't want to sit around and do this.
Like what though?
Just anything. Like anything where I knew it was gonna be a lot of disabled people. I was just like, like I don't want to do that. And then I went to the first disability parade, and it was like, to see all these people together is cool. And then last year did it again. It was even more people. It's like this is what we need. Like this is what we need to do. Because, like I said, we don't get the opportunities everybody else gets. Any minority gets more opportunities than we get. Because, like we've said before, nobody looks at us as a minority. We just people in chairs or people on crutches or whatever the case may be. We're an afterthought.
I feel like people look at us with pity,
Right.
and and so, but see, it gives us a chance. To me, this gives us a chance to, when you are underestimated,
Right.
it gives you a chance to come up strong.
Right.
You understand what I'm saying? And surprise the hell out of people.
And that's why I think what we're doing, what you're doing for us, is important. And I think this is really important that we have this outlet.
Mm-hmm.
Because, like I said, you get to see things from different perspectives. Not just, oh, I'm in a chair and it's just miserable and life is so hard and blah, blah, blah. It's, look, I'm in this chair, but I be doing this and I
Do that, yeah.
Yeah. And, like, you know how you mentioned on Facebook, like, when I say things, people, disabled and non-disabled, respond to it. Because I don't think people are used to
Right.
seeing somebody in my position or my condition being so vocal,
Right.
or being outlandish, or being vulgar, or because I say things that sometimes I say things on the show and in real life outside of the show.
Mm-hmm.
You look at me and it's like, what is wrong with this guy?
Uh-huh.
But that's me. I'm not. I think I taught myself early. I like to get people's attention.
Mm-hmm.
So I say things partially because I want your attention, but also I want people to think. I feel like if I write a status about having a disability or whatever the case may be, and 30, 40 people like it, that's something they never thought about before. You know what I mean? Like if I say this about a disability or that about a disability. Like recently, I did a interview with a college student. He interviewed me, and we went around my neighborhood, and we went to all the places that I couldn't get into. So he saw like all these restaurants and all these different places that I couldn't get into, and he's like, "I never thought about that." Of course, you never thought about it,
Right.
because you don't live my life. You don't have to think about it. So I applied the same attitude towards being black that I applied to being disabled. I start from behind. We're behind.
Mm-hmm.
So now you have to figure out a way to catch up. If you think about it, right? Black people, we've had full rights in America for a little over 50 years. Disabled people in America, we've had a little bit of rights for the last 27 years. 27 years is nothing.
Right.
I'm not even 20. That's
The older, it's younger than you.
yeah, like that's crazy to me that we've only been able to do something.
Do you think that with people with disabilities, they like? Okay, I've spoken and interviewed some older people with disabilities, and they struggled a lot, which made it easier for us. Now, do you think that people who benefit from that struggle, do they are they complacent,
No.
or and do they need to do more?
No, I don't think it's complacency. I think, well, some people get complacent because, again, some people, you get that check every month. It's like, I'm good. I can pay rent. I can pay whatever bills need to be paid. I can chill. But most people got to go out and work every day. So if you got the option of, I can get free money every month and chill, or work for my money, most people are going to choose the option to get free money. That's not just disabled people, that would be anybody. But what they don't realize is that money's nothing. That money, you're living below the poverty line. You gotta stretch that money. And so people get complacent in that sense, I think, of things being handed to us. But then on the other hand, things have to be handed to us because some people can't go out and get what they need. If some people didn't have that money,
Right.
what are they gonna do for a living? You know, I don't think people are complacent in the sense of they don't want anything to happen. It's just everybody can't physically do the same thing.
Right.
Everybody can't come here and do this and make a show. And some people, depending on their living conditions, because we're lucky, we live in New York.
Mm-hmm.
There's a bus and a train on every corner. If you live outside of New York, it's not that
Right.
simple.
Don't have that convenience.
If your people don't have a car, where you going? You know,
Mm-hmm.
like when I was a kid, we lived in a house with steps. So once the chair was up for the day after school,
Mm-hmm.
my day was over. Yeah, like I had to stay in the house.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't think it's I think your condition and your surroundings
Mm-hmm.
can make it seem like you're being complacent.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
Some people want. I know for a fact some people that look like they're not doing nothing, they want more for themselves.
Right.
They just don't know how to go about it,
Mm-hmm.
which is another reason why I want to become an advocate. Because I feel like we should all have, us as disabled people, we should have opportunities. Everybody should have opportunity. Like for me, stuff like every train station not have an elevator.
Right.
Why? Like why doesn't every train station have that? It's stupid. That doesn't make sense.
Right.
Like I have to go all around the world to get to the same place it would take somebody a half an hour less to get
Right.
to.
Right.
Because you decided you don't want to put an elevator here. That's not fair.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Mhm.
Like, so it's different reasons why I want to do different things with my life because I see what we're going through, and I see that people don't care. Like people wouldn't have cared about the struggles of black people if it wasn't brought to their attention.
Right.
If Martin Luther King and Rosa Parks and all those people didn't bring it to white Americans' attention,
Mhm.
what was going on, we'd still be going through it.
Right. Right.
So nobody's ever, I can't say nobody because I don't want to disrespect anybody who came before me and did whatever they did. But
It needs more work.
yeah, you don't see disabled people out and really, saying like, this is what we need.
Mm-hmm.
This is because it's not being brought to people's attention that we're struggling. We're struggling, and it's not being brought to people's attention. So when I say crazy things, it's not just me talking crazy. It's me trying to let you know.
Right. Like a shock value,
Yeah, like
sort of. You know.
this is what's going on.
Mm-hmm.
This is what is happening. This needs to be fixed. Nobody would have known, and I watched it when I was a kid. Nobody would have known how bad things were in LA with the police if you didn't see Rodney King getting his ass beat on tape.
Right.
Before that, people thought LA was Hollywood
Mhm.
movies and
Right,
everybody
right.
having fun. You didn't know.
Until the attention is, until
Yeah.
the light is shined on it.
So we need people, whether it be me, whether it be Dustin, whether it be you, whether it be all of us,
Mm-hmm.
to bring it to people's attention. This is what's going on. We need this to be fixed. We want to live like everybody else. You know what I mean? And I feel like everybody in our community should strive for that.
Mm-hmm.
Because if we don't do it, everybody.
Who's going to do it?
Yeah, everybody. People ain't gonna.
They don't need to do it.
Yeah, they're not gonna help us.
Mm-hmm.
They're gonna help us, but they're gonna help us after we say, "This is the problem."
Right.
You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm. I understand. We
So-
have to
Yeah.
bring light to the problem, and we got to do it ourselves.
Right.
We have to do it ourselves because
Right.
it's our problem.
Right.
You know. Okay, with that, we're going to cut this because we're going to wrap up because me and you could go on forever and ever and ever. And we want to thank you for watching our time with Mike Faber. We'll have more coming another time. And watch Men on the Move, Chicks and Chairs. Rate, comment, and subscribe. Is it rate, comment, and subscribe?
Subscribe, comment, like.
Whatever. I don't know why I keep feeling like it's the same thing. But,
Hitting the like button.
right, and that's rating also. Okay, right. Okay, good. Bye-bye, guys. Say bye.
Bye, people.
What you